Hello and welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is of course Etholdir and today I am back with another video. Today a new Let's Build here on Kronos. And as you might see, I'm at the Air Temple and I figured why not do some Let's Building here, because this is the project that I'm working on most at the moment when I'm not doing some landscaping somewhere on the world. Yeah, I just wanted to do the little house here. You can see I'm working on a house right there, but I thought why not just start a real new one so we can kind of do it together, because this one I basically did the hardest part, which is basically the roof, because the rest of this is fairly easy, and filling in the walls is not that exciting. So today we'll just do this very small house, and of course let me know if you want to see more Let's Builds of the Air Temple, because then I will try to do so, and or if you want to see maybe some videos on different areas, I suppose. And then we'll just start. So for anyone wanting to build along, what I did is this base is basically the corner piece, then 5 blocks to the next corner, then 3 blocks, and then again 3 blocks, and 5, 3. Okay, so it's very easy, and we're gonna make all these pillars 5 high, so like this, and that's gonna basically that's just gonna be the starting height for our pillars, and as you can see, we're just gonna make it into this landscape here, because of course I'm building in a very mountainous landscape, so stuff sometimes happens where it's really just connected to the mountain like this, which is not a bad thing, or like this, it's just completely standing on its own, which is fine as well. But yeah, you know, the combination makes it look really nice. So yeah, you might have seen that I completely redid the Air Temple. I got rid of all the walls and I started completely new in this new landscape, and I must say I like it better now. I think this landscape fits a lot better than the old one, and as you can see by all the wool bits, I kind of made a I guess you could say I made some sort of planning for the rest of the build. So I at least know what I want it to be like. So this is again gonna be 5 high, and then we have the basic structure. So these houses aren't that hard to build, especially not the smaller ones. Smaller ones of course have less detail, because there's less room for it. The bigger you make it, the more detail you can add, because you can push the wall one backwards. Which you can still do with this design though. Means that you just have less space, but you can't do that downstairs, because then you will have very little space, and I don't really like that too much, so we won't do it right there. But as you can see, we've got the basic structure going, so we're just gonna start on the hardest part of this build, and that is of course the roof. So we're just gonna start the roof by placing these onto these pillars, which are basically gonna be our starting points for the entire thing, because you can see that those are basically where it all begins. And then we're just gonna make these corners by placing 2 full blocks on top of each other, and then going along it with adding a slab underneath it, because that's what we need. And then we have all those beautiful corners done. Yeah, and what we're gonna do next is also add a slab on top of it, because that's what it needs before it's completely done. And now we can start adding those stairs along the sides, so that we get the corner pieces that we want. Because I guess you could say that the corner pieces are one of the signatures for this build. They really add a lot to it, and like that you have your first corner. So it's really not that hard once you get the hang of it, and it does look really fancy after you've completed the roof. It's a lot of work though, and it's paying a lot of attention that you make sure you do the same thing on all sides. Of course, when you've got world edit, you can also just copy and paste it all around, whatever you prefer to do. So now we've got that. Let's start with let's first start with adding the clay in. So we start out by just adding only blue clay, just so we know the shape, and then later on we'll add in the other shade of blue to add some more detail to the build. But for now this is just fine, so we can just place some blocks against those and make the nice structure at the sides. You might even want to add another slab right there, and yeah, then the same thing of course the same thing of course on the other side as well, just because that looks nice. And it always, I think it looks better if it's on both sides. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's a nice one. I don't know what I did here. A similar thing. We could go for that. So there's multiple ways, of course, to do the end pieces. This is one way, or the other way, which I actually also quite like. So for this building, I might actually go for the other way, just because I already did this way so many times, and it's fun to have some new things once in a while. Just some new addition to it. So basically, we've got the first layer down, and that's when we want to start the second layer. So we're gonna add in the corner pieces of wood first, because those are really easy to add in. And yeah, basically we can add in more corner pieces as well, just the next layer as well, because we're gonna need that anyway. And then you might even want to add in this corner piece for some extra detail, because we're pretty sure that that's gonna make it in. Just add an extra layer to that roof, and then of course we'll start out by just filling in the borders with the blue clay, so that we know where those borders are, and then afterwards we'll start by reshaping them and making them look better than they now do, because of course this is quite boring, and we don't like boring stuff. We don't want it to be boring, we want it to be exciting. So what we're gonna do now is we're basically just gonna place stuff like this and like that. That's gonna be it. It's gonna be the thing that we want to do, because I think that's a nice interesting piece. So we'll do the same over here, only slightly different, because we have a slightly different side here, but we could actually still add that in. So like that, we're gonna go like that, and we can just add in the slabs again and those things. And then on this layer, what do we want on this layer? Maybe just something easy like this. So just something easy. You can really go your own way with these things, because it's just adding a design to the roof, and of course you can do that in multiple different ways until you reach the top. When I reach this level, I always go for this, something with the corner pieces like this, so that we have the stairs making corners. Because then it's easier to add in the next layer. So just do something like this. At least make sure you've got these corners, because then you can really easily add in the next layer without them really being really visible, because of course they were really visible. It's usually not very nice. So I forgot one there, so let's just add that right away. And yeah, I think we've got ourselves a new design. No, I think we'll just go for that. Of course, we can add some details on the sides. Just adding some extra details because that's always a nice thing. And then, of course, you could either add a slab right there in the middle, or in this case, I decided to go for something more spiky, just a point. And what you could also do is just change these blocks to be the blue clay again, because that also works out sometimes, depending on what you like. And then, of course, once we've done this, we go inside, which is a little bit dark for you right now, but what we're just basically going to do is we're going to replace some of the clay with the lighter blue clay, so that we can have some extra details to the sides, which look better inside and also on the outside, of course. So we're just gonna do this randomly. There's no real pattern that you want to follow, just randomly. So just have some variation in your blocks, and then when you look on the outside, you'll see some different colors, which is always nice to have. And then basically what we have our house pretty much done. The hardest part we've got that covered. Now all we need is basically to fill in the rest of the blocks, which is usually not that hard. First thing first, always know where you want your door, because that's a pretty important step in the process, knowing where the door will be. Always nice to know that. So we know where the door will be, and now what we're gonna do, we're gonna fill in the walls. So this is gonna be a wall with a window, because obviously we could have a window here, but also we have to keep in mind the wall is gonna run from this house to this house. So we want a window right about there, so we're gonna change that one around. The windows we want about this height, and then basically like that, because that's easier for us. Then what we want for the sides, basically we want the fancy block on the side of the window, and then we can use the normal block on the rest of it. And then of course this could basically be just entirely like this, because you won't see a lot of it, and you could also add some extra detail if you feel like it. Just some extra blocks, of course, the basic thing. This part of the wall is going to be pretty much covered up on the outside, so what we might want to do is add some nice details on this side, just because otherwise it's very boring on this side, and that's something you never want. So we'll just add some details like there, because this side is pretty much going to be covered up by the wall that's going to run in between those, because the wall is going to go connect everything together. So it's one big circular thing. So basically we've got this wall covered. Of course we could use some trapdoors. Why did I fly all the way over there? But we could use some trapdoors for the sides, really easy, like you're used to, or something else, of course. I'm not going to fill in this one, just because I might want to do something special there, and I'm not sure yet. And I'm not going to fill in all the sides, because most of them will be very easy. And I am going to do this side, however, because this is going to be where the door is going to be at. Which you can do, of course, in multiple ways. One of the ways is just by going very basic, going like this, because that's usually quite nice. And then of course you can just add the layer in right there, because usually this ends up just going through as a wall all the way up, and you can add more details. So I'm not going to fill in all the walls, because most of the walls will be very boring to watch. I am going to do one of these upper pieces, so I can show you what I do with those usually. And the good thing about this one is that we do have room to add an extra wall behind this, so we can actually add some extra details that you can't add all the time. Let's see, so we want those to be there. Nope, we want those to be there, I guess. No, I want to have those at least, and this is probably gonna be a smaller window. Oh wait, of course we can do this. Could actually still be a bigger window. Something like that could be a nice shape to add. And then of course, because we have the room here, we can add multiple things, because basically this is going to be where the floor is going to be. So this is still very free for just filling it in and adding some extra details, like so, or even like this, so that we could add a double layered window and still add in those, because that's gonna make it look nice, and then just fill these in like that, and we'll have the window. We'll have a perfect window. And then of course, for extra detail, there are multiple things you can do. This is one of them, just adding some extra detail, or you could use fences, anything, just to add some more different colors, of course, to the build, because otherwise it's very white. And that's something that I have to do on most of the buildings, just adding some extra details to make sure that they're not too white, because of the snow and stuff. Everything will just blend in, and that's not nice. But yeah, that's the way you build a house like this. So I'm not gonna fill on all the other walls, because those are basically just the same. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Let's Build. If you did, don't forget to leave that like. Of course, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye.